morning. Daddy Chris here, and I'm broadcasting from SRTV, London, and this is Wake Up Nigeria, all the way from London. As usual, I'll be joined my colleague from Nigeria. I know Abuja is ready, and other places are ready. Let's see the face of Abuja this morning. How is Abuja looking like? Mary, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Oh. It's just the heat. Heat is too much. Like, oh my God.
What an irony. You guys have problem with heat? Yeah, yes. we want to have it hot. You people want it cold. What's going on
no
in
power
this one?
supply. We are now in the period of heat. Now we're looking for light, no power supply. Like it's like hell. Yeah.
Mary, on the lighter note, I saw women in River State. They were protesting that no light.
Yeah.
Guess
so
what were they saying?
Since they started facing the hot weather, it looks as if these people maybe they went on a meeting behind closed doors that they won't be bringing light to us. So it's not just funny anymore.
Yeah, and the women went on protest saying their husband no more touch them at night because the thing is too hot. The place is too hot, so they are not getting the thing at night. So it was a good one.
Is everything they will protest about? It's not everything now.
Why would they protest? It's how it affects the women now. That's how they see it. If our husband no more touch her because it's too hot, already the men want to run her before. So when you make the home too hot for them, you're driving them away. So
the weather is hot and the light is not stable.
The government don't want you to make more babies. I support the government because we can't feed the ones we have already.
Anyway, by bringing lights, we need lights.
Guess what, Mary? Today is packed full. I've not actually taken a look at the headlines, but today we have a lot. We'll be sharing some videos from the Senate, right from them saying that Akpabio need to do some reality check. He said most of the protests for food, and which I don't know whether the rest of the Senate are supporting him, are politically motivated. I don't understand that. So if I am angry today because there's no food in the country, I am politically motivated. May God help us. Another thing which we're going to hear from them, another thing they're saying is they talk about the tariff. The Senate talk about the tariff. And it looks as if from what they say that the Senate is not supporting any increment. And I'm going to say we will look at all those videos together. But I think when I'm looking at it friendly, I just say, why don't you people think of how to pay your own bills? Because it looks like the Senate are not paying their bills. As usual, Mary, we're going to quickly look at some of the newspaper review. If the rest people are able to join us, fine. I was expecting Benin and Delta to join this broadcast. I see Princess from Delta struggling to join. Princess from Benin, I've not heard from her today, but we'll go with what we do as usual. So let's start with the newspaper review, Mary. And let's start with the Punch, right?
And here the big headline says TUC NLC splits as DSS wants labor against planned protests. And the writer says NLC took protest decision unitarily. TUC Calais vows to stay away from demonstration. Ajeru accuses DSS of blackmail. Agency warns labor against plots to destabilize nation. I can find the story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And here we have a story at the top that says Senate rejects electricity tariff hike, probes 2 trillion naira subsidy. And that story is on page 24 of the Punch newspaper. And here we have another story that says 50th anniversary Punch holds exhibition to showcase iconic photos. That story is on page 19. Banks sell $172 million as CBN EFCC battles currency speculators. This is coming from experts, Forts, NAFEM, intraday rates. And this story is on page 23 of the Punch newspaper. And here we have another story that says Edo APC welcomes rerun after controversial governor primary.
Interesting.
Story on page 16 of the Punch newspaper. Lagos prefect drones during Valentine's Day beach hangout. Wow.
Where did you go there?
Why are we just saying the story today? The story is on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. And here another story says 10 billion naira fraud. EFCC to arraign ex-Kwara governor Ahmed Friday, and that story is on page 16 of the Punch newspaper. Motorists grounds as fuel scarcity hit Lagos hard. That story is on page 24 of the Punch newspaper. These are all the stories we have. Here you can see pictures. The pictures at the
Yeah,
fuel station, like it's not funny. The queue is much.
yeah. I wonder. Akpabio will be telling us shortly that these whole protests are politically motivated. I don't know whether the picture we've seen there on the street of people queuing for fuel is also politically motivated. They better put us in the know because we might not be aware of who is politically motivating this. In fact, this is just some joke, some real joke, Mary. Anyway, I think another thing we need to look at in this in Punch this morning is the Edo. So they finally want to do a rerun. All right, Edo is planning currently to do a rerun. I don't know what is going on today. It's like I may be doing this thing on my own. But Edo is currently planning a rerun. It will be interesting to see if we're going to have a rerun of the Edo state because I saw the young man in the house had declared as a candidate, but today there's going to be a rerun. I'm sure they all have to go back and do their homework. I'm not sure those behind the outside will be sleeping and those behind the other young man will be sleeping. But these are the implications of all this. When things are not done right, we get this anarchy. And I don't blame Edo State if they at this point decide, let me put it this way, if they decide to say no to certain things, so we are going to welcome it. We're going to welcome what Edo people will do. Edo, I like the slogan. Edo not be Lagos. Edo not be Imo. So you're not ready to take those things, those scam. Call it a scam. But now prepared because we're not going to do this again and again. At the point in time, we have to take a decision. Those of you who are crying that the election was not okay, APC guys, put your act together. PDP is ready. You know, I'm more disappointed at the Labour Party, man. I expect you guys to do better in Edo, and you are not doing anything. I can't wait to see who will be your candidate and how much you guys can run. But my concern is if you guys could not do something during the local government election, it's going to be hard. But like Princess told us yesterday, Edo people have a way of deciding. Sometimes they can vote APC they might decide to vote APC they might vote APC on one ground, and the next minute you see them voting PDP on as president. So I won't doubt Edo on this ground if that is the situation. So it's quite interesting. But the most interesting picture of the day for me is really Q return to our filling stations. And I thought that should be a headline. And what is going on? And in the midst of this, TUC is saying they don't want to work with NLC. You see, there's one of them must have been bought over. We heard story of 1 billion being put aside for coffee for people to sit down and talk. 1 billion naira. Tinubu, Baba, 1 billion in the midst of crisis like this. Now, I'm sure NLC came out to deny that they said they're not part of it. TUC, what do you know about the 1 billion? Because is that why you are not ready to go on protest? Because the situation is ugly. The pounds and the dollar keep rising. The naira is dead. No food on the table. The government need to do something and they need to communicate it with us. They're not going to do it in their own backyard. Anyway, those are some of the things we'll be looking at when Mary is back, and Mary is welcome back, Mary. So those are the things we'll be looking at seriously today. Let me quickly add Mary back to the program. Mary, tell her your system to behave because otherwise.
No. It's what we are complaining about. This unstable light. That's the same thing we are complaining. It's just everywhere.
Do you have what we're going through now? Is it light problem?
Yes, it's light problem.
Okay.
So it just tripped over and came back again. So.
That's fine. Thank God he's back. Anyway, you see this governor, they are trying to. This is Kwara State governor. In fact, that guy is going to be a scapegoat, man. I know most of the governors stole. Okowa that is working freely must have stolen over trillions of naira in Delta State. But here is a governor of Kwara State being arraigned for 10 billion naira fraud. Okay, you know, get swag. If you get swag like Okowa, you know, go that kind of place. You see what I'm saying? You understand? 10 billion is nothing to a Nigerian governor. How much is their security vote? So for somebody to have that really shameful, it's disgraceful. Let's know what we want to follow up that case carefully. And I'm going to put my radar down to see that I update Nigerians on what is happening. Because anyway, it's a welcome development from the EFCC. If they can now go back to the governors that have served and say, hey, look at what you guys have done. Now it's time to check what you have done. They should come to Delta State and look at the activities of Okowa. He ruined the state, and in fact, he has made his man a governor now. So what are you say? That guy is going to cover you up. Let's leave that to be for another day. A day will come.
Another person will come and tell you Kowa did his best. He ruled very well. You understand? Well, yes. Other people can condemn. Everybody with their own view and perception about this person.
You know the funniest, Mary. At the end of the day, I am not the one crying. They are the one crying. Those of them say Okowa did his best. Buhari did his best. They are the one crying today. They are the one on the street. If they did their best, where are you? Where are you? Those people that say they did their best, where are they now? You understand? You see them crying. You see, how can somebody run a beautiful state with a lot of resources for 8 years? And all he's going to say, like our former one, the one who said every woman in Delta State pregnant women can have access to free healthcare. Pregnant women, that is what Odua could say he did. Well, a day will come. I wish these guys, this EFCC can actually look at the activities of these guys. You know, there's a body in Delta State, which I brought on one of my shows, one day super day. They get, if they tell you how much of money goes to that commission, every month, what they use the money? Some of the money the governor will seize halfway, it doesn't get to them. The one that gets to them, they use it to get married to new wives. These guys have problems. And you know, when I talk now, they're going to hate us because we're saying it. But where are we going really as a people? This is not about me. It's not about you. It's about our children. They deserve better. You cannot ruin their destiny the way you're doing it now. And we're going to listen to the Senate. But what I just want to do is take a look at this for the audience to take note of this picture that, again, Q has returned to our filling stations. The question is, when we hear from this man later, the Senate president, who is saying that most of the protests are politically motivated.
You see this queue you are seeing here. Do you know, first of all, they attend to those people carrying the jerry can. All these ones you see with jerry can.
But they're going to make more money now. You can't blame everybody.
Even the fuel attendants are also making money from this.
Of course. Is it not their
time? Of the cars, but
it's their time. In fact, sometimes if you are, maybe during the fuel crisis, if you are a fuel attendant, you get new babes too. Plenty new babes. You understand? You know women and Nigerian women, they don't have to influence this. You get new babes. Now I go handle that fuel attendant so that I will buy fuel for me. And will sell for me on time for my jerry can. May God save us. Anyway, Mary, let's go to the second newspaper. Let's take a look at Vanguard.
Okay, Vanguard. Here the big headline says, hardship, DSS, NFC in face-off over planned protest. That's the reason on page 5.
They now agree. In fact, you see the funniest thing, Mary. NSC is saying this, we have to protest. It's time for us to go. And if you remember when we were saying the last time that the federal government put in 1 billion for them to sit on the table and talk about this, just to discuss.
Once they sometimes they'll just go and have meeting closed door, behind closed doors, and you say. And
that's where the 1 billion is shared, Mary. 1 billion. Yes. Imagine 1 billion.
Once it's like this, they've come to agreement. Something has been done. You understand? Something has happened, and you say they will not talk about it again. Now the masses are the ones that tend to suffer for everything that is happening. So that's just it. If it is not favoring them, it is not working. So at the end of the day, these people, they are just being selfish. It's just anything that will interest them, that is what they will do. So you see them saying they want to go for process, But once they have meetings between themselves with the government, you see them, they won't say anything again. And everything will just pipeline, everything will just die down like that.
Yes.
And the writer says, share your protest. DSS tells organized labor, add some elements planning violence. Face your job. You can't stop us. NFC, DSS.
Abi?
JAF takes on DSS, reaffirms support for NFC, and other stories. You can find them on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Here we have a story at the top that says Edo 2024. Edo is really, really hot this period. Yes, end of it, drops Uzodinma, appoints Otu to conclude primary today.
I don't know Imo.
Now here, the story is saying Tinubu not interested in zoning. Oshomole anxiety as 10 aspirants fight for PDP tickets today. And now this story, you can find them on page 14 and 15 of the Vanguard newspaper. At the middle, we have a story that says Nigerians should give Tinubu more time. This is coming from Gowon. That story is on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Please arrest LP. LP National Chairman ABUJA in Benin. That story is on page 12 of.
And that is the picture, Benny. That is the disturbing picture of that young man. They dragging down there under the, the picture on the under.
Okay,
Not
okay, okay, okay.
that's well, and it's like they're gonna manhandle him.
ABUJA arrested. Yes. Wow, 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 wow.
Oh my God! Oh my God! What has he done? Anyway, we expect that we'll hear more from this because labor, labor, labor. What a disaster! Oh no, my labor.
And yeah,
Oh,
that's
our labor.
Apapa gridlock. Businesses lose 100 billion naira monthly as petrol tankers, containers occupy roads. And that story is on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. And you have another story that says MFLA accuses Akpabio of defamation, demands 25 billion naira. You can find that story on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Wow. Now, there's another story that says Olu Fasan, no constitutional safeguard to stop state governors from hijacking state police for political end. State police will destroy local democracy in Nigeria. That's the reason on page 16 of the Vanguard newspaper. Wow.
It says state police would destroy what?
State
OMG.
police. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so
It's a no constitutional safeguard will stop state governors from hijacking state police for political ends. Now he says state police will destroy local democracy in Nigeria.
there are two sides to the story, and I almost agree with this man because if you see what the governors have been doing, Mary, what the governors are doing, they are more autocratic than the presidency. You see, presidency don't even have power. They fight presidency and presidency is shaking. But the state governors, OMG, go to Delta State today, you see that all the local government will be PDP because the governor is PDP. Did you see what happened in Edo State? Edo State that lost woefully to Labour. They conduct local government election. Obaseki hijacked the whole thing, made Edo all the local government chairmen now PDP. And when they came on this show, they were telling us, oh, that we did our groundwork well. Amen. So if you look at Nigeria, the state governors are really most likely to use their police for political gain. But that is not the reason why we not have state police. State police is good so that we can have more power to the people so they can protect themselves. The federal government has failed. And you can't protect us. So let us protect ourselves. There's no good justification for that. If some people abuse it, we will deal with them when that time comes. The essence of the state police is for us, for power to go to the local people so they can actually look at how every state can think about how they can map their own security. We cannot continue the way it is going now. So that person coming up with that story, he better think again. But I think the story we're going to need to look at, and we will continue to look at today again and again on this headline, is the tussle between the NLC and the DSS. And not the DSS, actually. This one is even DSS and NLC. Now, NLC is having problem. TUC is denying they don't want to go on protest. So NLC is they are on their own here now. Because, yes, so,
they will never come to agreement. Is it
no,
TUC?
TUC is what I don't like TUC for what they're doing now. Because NLC is like the only people that is strong enough to actually say to the government, you can't do this. And DSS is not threatening them.
Yes.
TUC that would have supported them, they are pulling back.
That's what I'm saying. One of the major problem is it's difficult to find TUC and NLC coming to an agreement for something. It's either NLC wants to go for protest, TUC will back off, or TUC wants to go for protest, NLC will back off. Why can't the both of them come together and do this thing? And that is where things will work out. You understand?
And I don't know why the DSS actually threaten people for exercising their democratic right. See,
but you know that's the
they are not going on, they are not rioting. It's a protest. It's a peaceful protest. They have the right. It's our fundamental human right, Mr. DSS. Whoever that is telling you to do what you're doing. No, it's the international community. Sometimes they don't help us enough. Only them having a say on this will help us to put things together. You can't tell people not to go on a peaceful protest. The international community should say something.
They actually don't want any protest at all. Because once these people tell you not to come out and you actually want to come out and protest, anything you see, you understand, you take it. Anything can happen. You get
nothing, anyway, we are dead anyway. See, this is one thing that happened one time. We are between the devil and the deep blue sea. If we stay at home, we will die. And if we go there, they say we will die. Should we stay at home and die? We better go there and die. Maybe somebody will save us on the way. But if you sit at home, I think I saw that story in the Bible or somewhere. They told them, if you stay here, you will die. But if you go there, you will die too, because your enemies are waiting. But if you
know that you're able to fight for yourself.
Exactly, go and try first. That's how you do this kind of thing. In fact, I'm in big support of NLC holding the government now to ransom. We cannot continue the way things are. The government is not communicating enough. Maybe there's a way they're going about this whole hardship. They didn't keep going, and we cannot deal with that. Now, there's so many issues. I don't want to be Tinubu. I don't want to be Tinubu at this stage, to be honest. The trouble in this man's neck is too much. You have electricity problem hitting you. Now, hardship, food on the table. Look at the filling station, they are not moving. Baba, not get heart attack, because you are not allowed to die. Should be you president, rule us. Anyway, maybe let's jump. So because we have a lot, we want to share the videos today too. So let's quickly look at the next paper, and that can bring us to the Daily Times. Is that our president or who is this?
Is he at the Daily Times?
Daily Times, yeah.
Okay, that's our president now.
Yeah. Big headline, smiling with the DSS man. The NLC DSS set to clash over planned nationwide protest. Yeah, we heard that before. We heard that again and again. All right.
I think this is more of the headline we'll see today. This NLC and DSS, their disagreement. I think this is more of the headline we'll see. Okay, and there's a story here that says fix gas supply gap to boost industrialization coming from Edumelu charges federal government. That's the reason on page 2 of the Daily Times newspaper. And you have another story that says hunger crisis. Red Cross Society, EcoBank partner on intervention. That's the reason on page 21 of the Daily Times newspaper. We arrested LP chairman for attempted murder. It's coming from police. That's the reason on page 2 of the Daily Times newspaper. And you have another story that says hardship. Federal government to commence direct cash transfer to 15 million households. Wow. Now,
to commence cash transfer of 15 million.
Direct cash transfer to 15 million households.
So 15 million, okay.
15 million households.
Million households. What happened to the other household? Anyway, if we can see that money directly going to the pocket of the people, again, this is the thing that the federal government is doing. Why direct transfer to the people? Again, I know you guys want to be happy. Let's have some money to eat first. But the implication of this is sugar. Maybe I always give an example of sugar.
But did you see this happening? Because I don't know, but I feel like
they could.
Then if it happens, who is going to see it? Because at the end of the day, all the time they say they share things to people, you understand, share food. It didn't get to everybody.
No, maybe, but I agree with the government there.
So if truly this money transfer is going to take place, there are still a lot of Nigerians that will not still see the money.
Yes, but Mary, it will still be better, because when you listen to the Senate later, which we're going to share some of the videos, you find out that they release so much money to the state governors. None of this money get to the people. Our state governors, they are not other demons we need to worship for that country to move forward. So if the federal government is saying they want to send the money directly to the people, I will be supporting that. But the question I ask the federal government is, why sending money to people? Why not use the money to invest on something that can bring food to the table? Because if you give money to people,
if they can give this kind of money to Nigerian citizens, So we mean there's still money in the country. So why
We
we
have
suffer?
money. Maybe we don't
Why
have
are things,
problem with
why are things
money.
getting high? Now I was thinking that maybe it's because we lack funds right now. Maybe we are in
Maybe
debt, and that is why the
who,
economy is
who
going
says
down.
so? Maybe one Nigerian,
So
if you put 3 Nigerians together, they can clear all this trouble we have.
why can't they use this money to reduce the price of fuel and the price of
Oh
foodstuff?
my God, the money is stuck in the bedroom and they're going to die
Why they won't
soon.
be giving people money? You understand? You won't
Money,
be giving people money.
they will soon die and they stuck the money somewhere. And what we're saying to the federal, let's be still on this issue. If the federal government have so much amount of money to distribute to 15 million households, so let's assume that they're going to give 10,000 to 15 million households. 15 million times 10,000 or 10,000 is how much? That's almost 10 trillion or more than how many? 250 billion. That is enough
To
to
even boost the
actually,
economy of the country. To boost the economy of the country.
exactly. Well, this is what they're going to give out to. We have money. And yesterday we were talking about people farming. They're telling people not to send the food they produce outside. Whether the federal government have this money, they couldn't go on farming. They are not saying, okay, we are angry. Every local government, come and take 1 billion. And I want to see the farm you're farming so that I will shame you. The government can do that. And make sure every local government go into farming and say, let me see your farm. Have 1 billion. Every local government. If we borrow money to do that, we will not regret. That every local government have 1 billion to farm. You know what? A lot of people will be employed. They work in that farm, and that farm will bring in food. In fact, we'll start exporting. And every local government chairman will be accountable for that money. It's not like the one that now our eyes are open. The media is there.
You know, we are in a situation whereby in this country right now, people now value farmers. Now, before the farmers are kind of neglected to some extent, but not anymore. People now value farmers because you know why? You find it difficult to get food in surplus. So when you see a farmer, you tend to value them. So you can imagine if the government has invested more on agriculture.
Farming, yes, exactly. Instead of giving us, that's what I'm saying, Mary. Instead of giving us this money, they're going to share now to household. They shouldn't give it to the governor, I agree. But why don't they use it to boost our farm potential? That every Nigerian.
If you keep on sharing money to the masses, then you don't want them to grow. It means you actually want them to keep begging, so they'll keep coming for you.
Mary, now you said it.
You want them to grow. You want them to be sharing that kind of amount to people's accounts when you can use it to boost the economy and create job opportunities for people. Let's be sincere for crying out loud.
If you give Mary, that's the problem. Yeah, you're right, Mary. If you give me 10,000, I'm probably going to spend a good one shopping one time. But if you create a job in my local government, I'll have a job. And I will eat again and again from there. The federal government is just, they're not stupid. They know what they're doing.
How can people make things in the country and start sharing money to the masses instead of trying to better the economy? We want the economy to be better. We didn't say you should give us money because at the end of the day, you still put that money into that hardship in that economy, and people are not growing. This will make them to still be on one spot. Another 4 years, they will come back and start begging again. And that is why during election, they just tend to fall back to anyone that is giving them. You understand? And they're forgetting that we have a lot of years to still stay after the election. So I feel like, if you ask me my own opinion, sharing money to these people is never a good option. Even food service is never a good option. Why not put it into the economy to better the economy and make things easy for people to live?
Mary, God will bless you. The Shetima was able to say yesterday, we're going to cramp down on those people, they call them saboteur, taking our food to selling our food. It's not, it's actually the farmer's product. That is when you say our food, it's like we own it. No, that man work hard and grow his crops.
How many farms have they invested in? How many farmlands have they invested in?
That man has the right to sell his product to anywhere he chooses. If you want to buy from him, go and work with him. The federal government have every chance. They have a lot of local government that are dead, doing nothing. If you go to local governments in Nigeria, women go there to pick melon. That's what they do. They don't do anything. So why not give that money to every local government to farm? You don't want to share money for us. Who do you think you're talking to, sir? In fact, these are the things. Nobody asked this your government. In fact, we'll continue to disgrace them. And Akpabio, we see that all these are politically motivated. Akpabio, giving money to farmers or sharing money for us is not politically motivated. You are not looking for political gain. What a shame. We'll come to that. We're going to look at, you know what, the good thing about this show now is we're going to hear from the Senate directly. Every morning, I don't think we're able to share all today. Tomorrow we'll do more. So let's quickly look at the newspaper because we have a lot in stock today. Let's look at the next paper. And I think we have the new Telegraph. Mary, take a look at the new Telegraph. It's actually, Yesterday we didn't have time to look
Like
at
it's
it.
like it's like I'm beginning to like this paper, the new telegraph.
I don't know. I don't know whether my best paper in Nigeria is actually the Guardian, because they seem to be
Really?
more they are stronger. Yeah, when you look at the level of their journalism, for me, it's more impressive. But who knows? I know. I cannot say. I cannot say. I
Okay, here
want to.
the big headline says big services power. Hot proposed increase in electricity tariff, subsidy removal. This is coming from it
This is
tells
the,
federal
this is the
government.
thing talking.
Yes, and the story is on page 3, 8, and 30 of the new telegraph. And the story that says moves to prop 2 trillion naira subsidy, 1.3 trillion naira, 1.3 billion naira dollar debt. And yet another writer says electricity consumers build 134.5 billion naira amid darkness.
Hmm.
Current poor service caused by low allocation from grid. And here another story says provide light or leave southeast. IPOB tells EEDC. And that story you can still find them on page 3, 8, and 30 of the new telegraph. And here we have another story that says creative economy. Federal government partners NESG on funding target 20 million jobs by 2027. Break monopoly, reduce cement price.
I can't wait to see to go through that headline with you. Federal government NESG on funding target on 20 million job by 2020. That is the
By
creative economy. I've been
yes,
talking about that. Maybe I will throw more light on that, because that is exactly why I invited the whole of Nollywood, the music industry, down to UK to talk about a funding a structure for the Nigerian creative industry. That is long overdue. Like I said yesterday, that can bring in a lot of money to the lot of jobs. Nollywood at the moment, they're actually giving, they're creating jobs every day, making movies. Look at what happened, the one we did. You see, a lot of people are employed, money is going around, and movies are being made and sold outside the country. So that is a big industry. The question is, what is the federal government doing? If they're coming up with a plan to boost it, but it has to be more realistic. It got to be holistic, not just giving some few people money like they've been doing from day one. Goodluck Jonathan did something, it failed because it was not planned. They didn't understand how it worked. In the UK, they have what we call the film fund. They fund you, but they also want to make money from you. And in Nigeria, it can be done better because UK, they have money they can throw around. But our own can be done like a loan to strategic filmmakers to be able to make movies that can sell
can
across the
imagine
world.
we have individual producers doing well, making millions, billions of naira in Nollywood, even without the help of the government.
Yes, imagine if the federal government now give them money, Mary. If the federal government now say, let us support these people, you imagine what can happen. You understand? Because
Like
it is,
this recent movie shot by Funke Akindele, A Tribe
yes.
Called Quest. You can imagine the billions of naira she made
The,
from
the
it.
federal government was the first person to congratulate
Yes,
the lady. And I said to them, now that you see that, what does that tell you? It means that if you put in more money, that woman struggled, raise money for that movie. Imagine
yes,
if the
so
federal government had
well.
put in enough money, that movie would have been better. I'm telling you, they must have compromised a lot. They probably
And
want the
to
camera
some
to
extent, Nollywood they are now standing on their own, even without the help of the government. They now
yeah,
feel
but
they can
you
do
see,
this on
money,
their
if
own.
we don't even want the government to give them money like they're going to give to these people now, don't give us money. Set up a structure where people can access loan. You see, when they access loan at an affordable rate, honestly, Nigeria, you better not do business there. In the UK, the highest loan you get, and if it's government backing, some of them are just like 2-3%. You pay back. You understand? But in Nigeria, you take a loan and it's 30 something percent, our greedy banks. So how can you make money and pay your money back? You're going into debt. That's the scenario in Nigeria. It's not a place to take money to take a loan. And if the federal government can just introduce that creative loan, which will be operated by every state, it's in fact this Mary, it's so interesting. No ordinary fashion designers. What fashion is doing for us?
Yes,
Only the clothes you guys wear these days. Gone are the days when Nigeria don't respect our tailor made. Our young fashion designers are doing so well now that their products are going outside the country. If the
Very
federal
well.
government invest, that's why it's so interesting to have this kind of headline. I'm going to interview them a little bit more. I'm going to find out what it is all about and see, because my vision for them, whether I can put that together to actually help people in the creative industry. Look at the music, Mary. Look at our boys at the
All these
international
people are doing well without the help of the government. When it
stage.
comes to entertainment in
That boy
Nigeria,
didn't get money from state.
yeah,
This young boy, all of them, all the stars, musicians today, I can't even bring them in anymore. They are bigger than me
that
now.
is why I say instead of we to won't stress ourselves focusing on the entertainment world, they have already paid well for themselves. They are doing well already,
No, maybe
representing
we
us
can do
by themselves.
better.
And let's
Maybe,
focus on how
maybe,
the
we,
country and
maybe we.
improve the economy.
I know, maybe, but we can do better with entertainment too. Only sport alone, eh? If we put a lot of money in sport, we'll be exporting footballers. Oh. In fact, if Nigerians are so clever, if the federal government is not wicked, why don't they train doctors? Now that they know that they're taking Nigerian doctors abroad to go and work.
But all these medical practitioners, once
Yes.
they just finish school here in Nigeria, or maybe they've been able to practice within 1 year, maybe any of the hospitals here in Nigeria, all they do is just travel. They actually don't
No,
want to
but
stay.
maybe it's because the condition is not good. But again, even having that, is it not good for the country? Because every young man that travel out of the country, trust me, is sending the money back. You
Sure.
understand? So if we can intentionally train medical professionals for export, human being for export, not our people are traveling anyway. They are running through the Mediterranean Sea, killing, dying there. If we better, so why don't we intentionally train them? Mary, I do a part-time course in the law program here in the UK. The lecturers are Nigerians.
Wow.
So we're not
In the
talking of
UK?
only, yes, so we're not talking of only medical. Even in the legal profession, they are here. So we are everywhere. If Nigerian can just spend money to educate us, education alone, and I mean strategic, well planned, we bring in so much money back to the economy. So it's about, and when we now serve, oh God, I don't know whether we have leaders at all. You have human beings that are there, ready to be trained. Maybe once a person is trained, he can't go back to bullshit.
But
Any
that's
trained person, any
that's
medical doctor,
but
any
they seek to go higher. They seek for improvement. You
and
understand?
I'm not gonna go
And
and give people.
you know that our federal government are frowning at they are frowning at our medical practitioners that are based abroad. You understand? They are frowning at our youth that have seen traveling as the best options for them. They prefer to travel and do well outside Nigeria. I know they don't like it, they are frowning at it. But at the end of the day, you won't blame these people. They are traveling because they want a better future for themselves. They want things to be better for them. But you as the federal government that is frowning at young Nigerians in diaspora, fighting that they should come back to the country. What do we have in the country that they're coming back to meet?
No, Mary, this is the beauty of this. Let me explain this to you. Actually, traveling out of the country is in the interest of Nigeria and in the interest of the people here.
But the
What the
federal
people
government
here,
does not like us.
let me explain that. What the people here don't want is they don't want to receive waste. I use the word waste. People who can come here and commit crime, who don't have a job, who cannot have anything to contribute to society. The UK government, let me tell you, if you have master's degree, as we speak, if you have master's degree, there's a window for you to come to the UK with your family and stay. We call it's called the highly skilled migrant scheme. Highly skilled migrant scheme. Because they know if you have your master's degree, you have been working before. When you come to UK, you're going to create jobs, you're going to contribute to society. So the government of UK will actually open door for you to come. I don't know anybody who have a doctorate degree that will not be able to travel to UK. So why don't the government of Nigeria, having all these human beings, train us so that we become exportable? You see, you can export human beings to bring back money. Maybe all the money I earn here is what I used to fund SRTV in Nigeria. You understand? It's not them. It's not. I don't make money from Nigeria. So you can imagine that a lot of us here, we earn money. 90% of our money go back there. And yet the government is not listening. And they're going to frown at us. In fact, the UK government wants you to come. But you will come if you have something to contribute. If you're a medical doctor or if you're a nurse, they're looking for you, Mary.
No, but I think you have a misconception of what I just said. I'm talking about the Nigerian government
Yeah,
flying at
they are naive now. No, Nigerian government are confused. They don't
But
know
that's
even
what
what they're
I'm
talking about.
not talking about the UK government. I'm talking about
I
the
know.
Nigerian government.
But
Flying
Nigerian
at
government,
somebody
yes.
to diaspora. But
What does that
I
mean?
asked the question, what are they coming to me? Because I think that was the time I had there was one event we went to cover about the Nigerians in diaspora, and I was able to ask questions during the interview, and I asked one of the chairman of that's Afridu, and I asked him, he said, okay, I know a lot of times people want the Nigerians in diaspora to come back, but the question is, what are they coming to meet in the country?
Yes.
Because if you ask me, there's no job. There is no job anywhere.
Mary, those
What
people
do you
telling
want them to
you,
come and do?
Mary, if Buhari tells you he doesn't want people to travel abroad, why did he go out for medical treatment?
But they don't want the youth to travel.
Okay, yes, but why are they sending their children to study abroad? 90% of the idiots in your government today, their children are here studying. They're
You
either
say
in
your
America,
government. What do your
in the
government,
UK,
sir?
or in Australia.
They are Nigerians.
You see, but they are studying here, and the school fees we pay here. And you know the funniest thing, most of the lecturers here are also Nigerians. So you're sending your child to come and study here. The person that is still going to train that child is still a Nigerian. You are just stupid. In fact, we need to wake up. Do you know the 90%, a time will come, half of UK lecturers are going to be Nigerians. That's what I'm seeing now. Half of the lecturers in the UK, they will be Nigerians. And meaning you will end up spending your money, sending your child to come and study in London, where the same Nigerians will train the child. Buhari that came, at that, the people that trained him, that treated him, one of them must be a Nigerian. So even the medical treatment you're coming abroad for, the people that are going to treat you are actually Nigerians. So you can keep fooling yourself, or you can start doing the right thing now. The choice is for us. Mary, why don't we at this moment go on a quick break? When we come back, we'll continue the discussion.
Because they have a lot to discuss.
A lot today, and we're going to break it quickly. Yeah, it's only 41 minutes, and we are not halfway. We need to hear from the Senate.
Are you tired of endless search for the perfect property? Look no further. Let SRTV Real Estate be your trusted partner in the journey to finding your dream home.
We can offer you a dream home in a serene environment and beautiful ambience, surrounded with modern nature. That's definitely what you crave for. Well, you asked for it, and here we have it. Why not live the best of your dreams by making do with time, space, and value? The smartest form of real estate investment is that which is done at the initial public offer.
Join the long list of satisfied clients who have chosen SRTV Real Estate for all their property needs. We pride ourselves in turning your dreams into homes.
Act today. Secure your slice of a palace, even on a flexible payment plan, and embark on a journey towards a brighter tomorrow. Your dream is valid, living in a place of fabulous wealth and great opportunities. Don't compromise the standards of living. Explore the world of vast opportunities by investing in SRTV Real Estate today. Superb location, habitable, accessible, attractive, and a secret to every smart investor. For your real estate, SRTV is trusted and reliable.
Contact us today with the number on the screen, or
email us at realestate@superiorradioandtelevision.com.
Welcome back, people. Yes, this is Wake Up Nigeria. Daddy Chris is here from SRTV London, and I'm with Mary all the way from SRTV Abuja. We are looking at some of the headlines in the newspaper today. We're here, and Mary is giving us her own views. She's stubborn. Mary is now becoming a very, very stubborn woman. Mary, I don't want you to be a bad girl so that your husband can manage you. Anyway, we're moving forward, Mary. Let's quickly take a look at some of the newspapers so that we can, before we jump, because if we don't have so much time, so I would say we'll take a few of the newspapers and then we move quickly to, I don't think I can hear you, Mary. You are on mute. Yeah, your system is mute. Let me see if I can unmute you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, good. I can hear you well now, yes.
Okay, some of the headlines are almost the same, so just try to check through the ones that...
Yes, let's quickly go through that.
We're not done with the Telegraph.
Okay.
The Telegraph. Okay. After that story about the federal government partners NESG on funding target 20 million jobs by 2027. Now the rider says break monopoly, reduce cement price. And this is coming from Kusel. You can find that story on page 5 and 28 of the New Telegraph. There's a story at the middle that says governors legal luminaries bid. Akeredolu farewell. Okay, the governors legal luminaries they bid farewell to Akeredolu, and that story is on page 3 and 30 of the New Telegraph. And the writer says Aketi's contribution to legal professional unquantifiable. This is coming from FMAG. Okay, and all the stories are on page 3 and 30 of the New Telegraph. And here there's a story that says Tinubu approves NANDAP's appointment as NISCG Gaga as Nexim's ED. That story is on page 4, 5, and 26. Senate confirms NHIA, NPC, NACON nominees. That story is on page 4, 5, and 26 of the New Telegraph. Okay, and there's a story here that says Shell's planned protest in the interest of peace. That story is on page 2, 4, and 26 of the New Telegraph. Here there's a story that says hardship, Senate grills CBN's NPC nominees on ways of foreign exchange, food crisis. And here the writer says reps wants federal government states to expedite action on palliatives, kicks against hike in law school fees. That story is on page 2 and 5 of the New Telegraph. Reducing meat consumption might prevent snoring. Wow, it's coming from study. Story is on page 26 of the New Telegraph. Okay, now let's check the last story on the New Telegraph that says Labour Party NAS chairman Abure arrested in Edo. That story is on page 29 and 30 of the New Telegraph. The writer says PDP group kicks over nomination of board member for Southwest. That story is on page 29 and 30 of the New Telegraph. Report Nigerian record extra 10% contribution to global oil demand. That story is on page 8 of the New Telegraph. Federal government to expand direct cash transfer. Okay, we've seen that one before.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's all the story we have this morning.
Maybe there's some 3 important stories I think you're meeting here. There's the bandit killing over 34, kidnapped 53.
Okay, yeah.
In Benue. Again, this killing, yeah.
Benue and Zamfara.
Exactly. This story is disheartening. In a country like Nigeria, we see experiencing
and then they burn over 500 houses. Others. This is not funny.
It's not. And then that's why I'm happy under it. We have the state police scenario. Say weak policing caused by corruption, poor training, others saying by SAN. I'm happy. What we want to see is from time to time for the senior advocate of Nigeria to actually make statements. They should make statements like this. And even more, in fact, they should come in on some very difficult issues. Like we will expect them. These are respectable lawyers. They know what they're doing. They know the law. If the federal government is doing things that's against the law, they could actually say they are the third arms of government. We have the executive, the judiciary, and then is the legislature, and then the judiciary, which is the last hope of the common man. Sometimes we don't hear their voice. We don't hear from them enough. All these crises will be hearing. Sometimes I'll be waiting for other than LSC. What is actually the judiciary saying? I know they are being paid by the federal government and they kind of not have so much to say, but they can do more, they can do better. Only making a statement that the law says this with quite so many controversies. Now they're telling us, SAN, that we cannot go on protest. NLC is having an issue. Though I like what this one is a little bit mild, and I want to be happy with
someone asking myself, are we in the military region?
I don't understand. No, I think the DSS did something. If the report here is good from New Telegraph, that they are asking them to share it in the interest of peace. That is an understandable. But warning them or threatening them, it amounts to our human right being tampered upon. And that is the part where I expect the judiciary to say, no, it is our right as human beings, as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to go on a peaceful protest so that the DSS will know their boundaries. They cannot continue to threaten NFC the way it is now. NFC, they are on their own. Nobody speaks for them. Nobody is behind them. And the last time they break the head of their boss, and nothing happened. And if the judiciary can sit down and pay deaf ear to this, then we have a problem. We have a serious problem, Mary. Anyway, I'm happy that I just want to indict the Sun for coming out to talk about the police. They should come out more and tell us the position of the law. We're not saying you should take side, but tell us the position of the law. Are we allowed to go on a peaceful protest? Yes, we might know. But when you stand as an authority to say this is what we are entitled to, provided we don't exceed this, then everybody can sit up. But sometimes the judiciary just pay deaf ear to what is happening. But the good thing is affecting everybody. It is affecting everybody.
See, I think someone was telling me yesterday that I know that this dollar price, because I know that to some extent even businessmen are complaining that they are even losing money. But somebody is telling me that the politicians are gaining it more because they receive in dollar. And I was like, if peradventure they are getting it more, then we are in big mess, we are in big soup, because it means the situation will not change. They won't do anything to change the situation or to better.
Mary, nobody is gaining here. Or president is not gaining. The businessmen are not gaining. You know the implication. Okay. When a country are in chaos like this, there is lack of security. I can bet you nobody is secured in Nigeria now. No rich man is secured. Nobody is secured. And when you live in a country where there's no security, nobody is gaining. The rich man or the so-called police are talking. You go and look at the height of his face. His children are running. He protects his children so much. If they catch his wife or his children, they will even deal with them more than our own.
They're not in the country.
But is it not a shame, Mary, that you run a country and your children cannot stay there because you are running away from the trouble in your hometown?
Sure.
Who is gaining? How is that man gaining if he cannot stay in the place where he's born? So nobody is gaining here. Here, I saw Boris Johnson. He jumped on the same train with us. If you see our current prime minister on his way to Christmas, he did a documentary. He took the same train. So there's the kind of people we want to associate with. That is how a leader is free. He's living in a free world. But Nigerian leaders are caged. They are even more trouble than me and you. Maybe I can still go and take a hide from my wife, take one baby, enter a hotel. Nobody will know. But if they know, if they do it, they catch them, kidnappers, they will finish them there. So they are in trouble. They are in more trouble than me and you. So nobody is gaining here. And until our leaders realize that, the senators are not even enjoying. They are afraid to go home. What are you going to tell people in your constituency? Go now, go and make my bed if you come back alive. And it's going to get worse if the situation is not arrested on time. We're going to see something difficult in the country. And so for DSS to threaten, DSS, instead of threatening NSC for trying to go on a planned protest, why don't you threaten kidnappers? You are there, kidnappers are kidnapping people, they go and rape them, kill them. You do nothing. We hear stories of bandits. Is it the NSC that is the problem? Is it
okay, now you can imagine people in BENIN. How are they even coping? People in BENIN in Zamfara. Formerly, it was always just. You understand? But right now, not even no just and BENIN, the one that is even worse as regards the insecurity issue, because the killing is too much. There was a time that people were mourning in Benue State, and they still went and kidnapped them.
So Mary, let's quickly. I think we should take a look at. In fact, we need to run fast now because we are really, really behind. And I don't see us spending more than another 20 minutes on this show. So we really need to be fast. And we have a lot of videos to share. So which of the papers do you want us to quickly take?
Well, the one that does not have the same headline. Okay, let's check the leadership. Leadership. Then there's a big headline here that says Edo governorship. APC orders fresh primary to clear legal hurdles. And the writer says replaces Uzodinma with Otu as panel chair. presidency NWC in renewed alliance to deliver Dennis Idahosa. Tinubu rules out zoning formula. You can find that story on page 4 of the leadership newspaper. And there's a story at the top that says Kemi Nanda appointed new CG of immigration. That story is on page 20 of the leadership newspaper. At the middle top, we have hardship. Despite DSS warning Labour insists on protest. That story is on page 10 of the leadership newspaper. And here at the left, we have a story that says, please, DSS, arrest Abure over mob attack, attempted murder. That story is on page 10 of
There's a government.
the newspaper. Go on, ask ECOWAS to lift sanctions on Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. You can find a story on page 10 of leadership newspaper. Here at the left, there's a story that says Senate rejects planned electricity tariff hike. That story is on page 10 of the leadership newspaper. There's a story that says gunmen killed 24, injured 18, burn house in Benue. Burn houses in Benue. That story is on page 10 of the leadership newspaper. And here there's a story that says Nigeria gains strength as official market closes at 1,542 naira per dollar. That story is on page 28 of the leadership newspaper. And you can see a picture of our president. Picture here of our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I don't know what Baba is in there. I'm former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, during the visit to the presidential villa. That is our former president, Gowon. All right.
Yeah,
on this beautiful visit. You see, Gowon is saying something very, 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 very dangerous. And I think it's a threat. He said that they should, that ECOWAS should lift ban sanction on Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. These are countries currently being run by military juntas. All right. And Gowon is saying we must lift the sanction on them. Why? Because if you see what is happening in Nigeria, that our so-called civilians are actually dictators now. They are now worse than military. And what moral ground has Tinubu, if at all, look at the last election we had, the whole controversy in Nigeria, if you steal election, if you steal power by vote, if you steal the vote, it's equal to a coup. You've taken it power against our will. And if it's the same thing as a military taking power against the will of everybody, they decided to do it, they do so. So it's exactly what is going on. There's no difference between what is happening in some of the democratic countries compared to where the militaries are now. And the military are a little bit, they bring in a little bit of sanity. Everybody, you sit up, if you misbehave, your head feel lost too. So there's always lack of this, but we still prefer democracy on a good day. I think we should continue to practice democracy in Nigeria so that it's going to get better. We are not where we were before. Now, people's eyes are open. We can talk more. We can see what is happening. We can query them. Now we're going to listen to the senior president or anything he said wrong. We will ask, we hold him accountable. It is better like this. But during the military, they do and undo. We don't want them. So I don't know why Gowon is saying that we should allow them, but I can understand the challenges of leadership in Africa, which is the problem we have. The problem in Africa is squarely and solely that of leadership. Mary, you said something today that you don't even know that there's still money in the country. What we have in Nigeria is enough money.
I was thinking that maybe everyone is affected, even the government. Maybe we are now.
What we have is
not until I now saw the news of them wanting to do a cash transfer to Nigerian citizens. Man, I was like, where's the money coming from? So why are things this difficult? Why can't we just get access to things? Because
that's an issue for another day. Anyway, the other story seems to be what we've been seeing before, other fresh election in Edo.
I just take just their big headlines. I think the Daily Sun says hardship, reverse bearing, and Bakoba warns government. And that story is on page 6 and 25 of the Daily Sun. Okay, I think there's another story that says Peter Obi carpets federal government as CBN raises custom exchange rates to 1,605.48 naira. Okay, Federal government considers relaunch of cash transfer to vulnerable Nigerians. Same thing. Okay, let's check the Nigerian Tribune. The big headline says EFCC raised buried the change operators in Abuja, Ibadan, and Kano. And that story is on page 14 of the Nigerian Tribune. So, and there's another story that says arrest anyone planning to use our protest to cause crisis. NLC charges DSS. And that story is on page 18 of the Nigerian Tribune. And here there's another story that says, okay, that same transfer cash. Let me check the this day. Now, the this day, the big headline says, who will save the Naira? Manufacturer cry out. Wants preferential foreign exchange allocation.
Yes.
Wow. And here, there's another story that says, still less than 20% of the requirements available in banks. Concern one over crypto speculation as Naira sustains free fall at parallel markets, now 1,920 Naira per dollar. EFCC arrests BDC operators in Kano and Ibadan. And also there's a story that says ACON blames foreign exchange vulnerability on market forces liquidity challenges. Okay, I think these are all we have for the
Yes, Mary, we cannot leave today without looking at Guardian. Let's quickly look at what Guardian has.
Guardian also have their own unique stories.
Yes,
okay, now the big headline in Guardian say customs 5 trillion Naira target threatens trade, heightened price crisis, and the story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. 5 banks impairment charges hit 580 billion Naira in 9 months. And that story is on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. Now, there's another story that says Borno engages monarchs on reintegration of repentant terrorists. That story is on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. There's a story here that says lack of fun forces the Tigers out of AfroBasket qualifiers. Now, find that story. This is coming from Panorama. You can find the story on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. Petrol crews sprayed nationwide as Hypeman MEMA blames supply disruption. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Transcript processing saga. How not to treat alumni of modern varsities, polytechnics. That story is on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. And I think these are all the stories we have for the Guardian this morning.
All right, Guardian is who they are. I don't know what this 5 bank impairment really charges. But the most important thing is the queue now is spreading across the country, and there is no good reason for it. No good reason why we have such a massive queue for fuel today in Nigeria. It has to stop. It has. To.
There's this story I skipped. Tinubu gave governors 30 billion naira each to address food shortage.
No, we're coming to that. The Senate will be doing that. I want us to go on a quick break. Yes, that's what you see. We'll go on a quick break, Mary, and when we come back here, we're going to look at that more critically. It's a very quick break. We're going to look at some of what the Senate have to say about all this. Let's go on a break and come back.
SRTV Logistics is here. Are you into a restaurant business? We are here to help you move your goods from one place to another. If you're moving your goods out of the country or within the country, you can come to us.
Trust us to handle your deliveries with the utmost care and professionalism, ensuring your items reach their destination safely and on time. Don't settle for anything less.
We're part of the global supply chain of helping goods to move from one point of origin to the point of consumption according to the needs of customers. You can contact us with the numbers on the screen or email us at logistic@superiorradioandtelevision.com.
All right, you're welcome back. Just in case you're just joining us, this is Wake Up Nigeria. I am Daddy Chris from SRTV London, and there is Mary from SRTV Abuja, and we've been looking at the newspapers, and it's all there, man. the hardship continue. But let's now take a look at the other side of the story. You see, the Senate, the Nigerian Senate, good enough, we have some good footage to share with you right now. The Nigerian Senate have a lot to say. They have a lot to say. And that is what we're going to be talking about. From the hardship, Akpabio think that this whole thing are politically motivated. So watch with open mind, and we're going to share what the senators are saying. We want to quickly run through this together. Don't go away.
Revenue service outside their normal allocations from the federation account, outside their normal allocations, to assist them in ameliorating the food situation. So we believe that every state government should utilize the funds so received towards ensuring that food is available.
Can you hear that? Because they are indicting the state here. So the state government actually received a particular amount of money from the federal government. And the question is, I don't know about you, for those of you in your individual state, what has your state governor done with that money? And you see, what is so good about this is it's not even that the
some states, food is more expensive compared to Abuja. I saw something online yesterday. Someone had to I think a picture of a tomato on a small plate, you understand? And they were like, how much is this sold in your area? And I can see that River State and Cross River is on a high, you understand? The price is even higher, then followed by I think Kogi State too. So when I was going through all the prices, I saw that we in the north, we're even enjoying. This one that we're complaining, and we're even enjoying. Because the tomato we are buying for 500 naira in River State, which is Port Harcourt, they said it for like 1,000. Same with Akwa Ibom, same with River State. Enugu, the same thing, because Enugu, they have the same kind of, I don't know how to put it, almost similar kind of sales with Port Harcourt. You understand? So now, when I checked it, I was not thinking that states, you understand, they're even more expensive. You know, even in Abuja, we're a bit closer to Niger State and just maybe to some extent, these things get to us easily. And it's still better off compared to some states. You get? So, a lot of people in those states are even suffering the more. Lagos, same thing. These things are expensive in the states. So, what are the states even doing about it?
That's a good one.
I mean, federal government are trying to pull off, like remove their head from this whole saga. You understand? No. But let's talk about the governors. What are they doing for their states individually? Or don't they have anything they can do as well?
So what is interesting is that the federal government actually released money for them to alleviate the suffering. The question is for us to then really, what have your governor done with it? It's not us. It's what have your governor done with that money? And so we're gonna go on, Mary. Go on.
Nothing. They've not done anything.
Wonderful.
Because everything in Enugu is expensive. Let me just tell you. Despite the fact that Enugu, they don't have water. Enugu has this issue of water. You understand? But let's not talk about the food and the house. Enugu is a place that I would say is so expensive. You understand? So what has the governor done? Nothing. I've not heard anything. I've not seen anything.
And none of them can deny. You see, sometimes we need to be a little bit fair to the federal government. Like I said before, the federal government will have the state, they share the money as it's supposed to be. Now, they've just told us they take 30 billion to each of the states. What did they do with it? Only God will come and save us. You do nothing with that. But then, if within your state, you make sure the local government don't even get the money coming to them. Because in fact, our problem is actually the governors. Do you know how much that's supposed to go to every local government? The money, not even half of it will go to local government in a month. Not half. And the governor have the mouth to come out and say, that's why when they want to leave office, they're ready to kill. Ready to kill. In fact, you don't see that kind of desperation at the federal level. Anyway, let's hear more from the Senate today. Still on Akpabio, because he has a lot of
ways. I mean, not what President Tinubu can bring. This Senate will not rubber stamp anything that we feel is not in the interest of Nigerians. And that's the reason why we are discussing. Am I right or wrong? Those who are in support of what the Senate President is saying, say aye. Those against say nay. So the expenses that we don't have details put us in the indebtedness that we have today. And therefore has affected even the ability of government to provide essential needs and services for the public. That we need to look into those things.
You know, Mary, I think this senator said it all. Look at this senator.
Each state government
Yes.
in 2023 was given 18 billion naira at once. Some of the governors that benefited from that 18 billion naira are here. I'm sure Governor London can confirm that.
And they did not, and they did not repay the money by the time they came to the Senate.
All right. You see, good enough is we have Edo now joining us quickly. So let me quickly add Edo to the broadcast. Edo, what is going on? Princess.
We missed you. We wanted you on this show since. What is happening?
Are you there? Edo?
Maybe they're having maybe network disruption.
Yes, we cannot hear you, but otherwise your sound is maybe having some issue. But it's good that you are back. You are back, and we hope you fix your sound shortly and join the conversation. So obviously we cannot hear you. I'm sure there's a little bit of issue with you.
Check if they are muted. Check if they are muted.
I will not be the one to. I know they are not. I can't do anything about the sound here.
Okay.
They are quite okay. Mic is on, so it's coming from them. Yes, she'll fix that in a minute. All right. So what is interesting is now we're hearing from the senators. You know what they have to say about all this. Yes, I will soon be able to. What they have to say, and you see, the truth is, look at the amount of money that has been given to this state. Let's listen to, because it's quite interesting to have these senators. Actually, sometimes they have a lot to say, and it's good we know them now. Not tomorrow they will start to say, "Oh, I want to be president," because that's how they start. First, they come as senators, and then they say, "Let us go and pick one of them as president." But it's good to know whether they actually go to the Senate to sleep or whether they are working. Let us listen to this senator.
Of the prevailing situation in our dear country.
This is Tambua.
We all do not need anybody to tell us what the situation in the country is all about. The populace are facing untold hardships, and the situation in the country is anything but normal. And removal of any subsidy, not to talk of electricity subsidy, will be more than adding petrol to fire. The situation in the country do not allow for even a contemplation of that. So when I heard the Minister of Power talking about that removal, I don't know his why, but I believe that is ill-timed, is insensitive to say the least, and therefore there is the need for the Senate to rise to this occasion and intervene. Let wisdom prevail in the governance of this country. We must manage the situation that we have at hand and make sure that as much as possible, we continue to give hope to the people of Nigeria.
All right. That is quite interesting. Edo, can we hear you now? Hello, Princess.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Can you
You're
hear me
welcome
now?
to the show. Yes, very loud. We can hear you very well now, Princess. Yes. You see, let's have Tambua here. Now they're talking about Princess. We're going to come back to you because we learned at your state APC. You are doing a rerun. We want to look at that closely with you because this APC saga in your state is becoming more interesting for us. So when is the rerun? What are the preparations and what are the prospects?
Well, from what I gathered yesterday, the wards, they are all together. They are all working on their rerun. They should be starting anytime about, they should have started now. It was scheduled to hold by 10.
Today?
At the various wards.
So the election will take place at various wards or it's going to happen at the central? Or how do they conduct it? It's per ward? Can you hear me, Princess? It's like Princess can't hear me very well.
I think it's maybe it's a network.
Yes, I don't think it's network. I think it's the sound because they used to have good sound. Anyway, from what we've heard that from Princess, I think our network is frustrating us again. We're coming back to that, but let's go back to Tambuwa. Tambuwa is saying that it is insensitive to have and the Senate, they are singing the same song here, that the tariff on electricity should not be taken away. And I don't know if that is something I'm not a big fan of it. But in the first place, my only concern here and what I want to take away from this is that Mr. Senate, we heard you right, and thank you for helping us. We need a tariff. But the question is, have you people paid your own bills? Because the electricity company are saying that the presidency, the House of Rep, the House of Senate, the Senate, and even the ministries are not paying their bills. So it's the people footing the bills in Nigeria is the one the ordinary Nigerians are paying. So if you come out and say, let's remove tariff from what? And electricity we don't see. Those of us, with the masses, we don't have electricity. Only a few people in Abuja may say they have electricity. Go to villages, no light.
Funny enough, presently Abuja people are complaining. And if they're not seeing lights, if they don't have electricity, how do you expect them to pay? They will complain. And that's why most times, like from these local areas, you get, you know, sometimes when NEPA comes out to cut lights, they get beaten. People beat them up. These are the things they face when you come to those local areas. You know, those ones that here don't used to become like the people in the estates, you understand, or people using the meter. You know, there are people that still use the normal pole wire, you know, that they come maybe at the end of the month, they come and cut off the lights or disconnect and reconnect. So they face a lot from Nigerian NEPA. You understand? So because when you don't give them like at the end of the month, you just come like you want to cut lights. You see that they'll start reacting to it.
Yeah, and that is even look at the suffering of ordinary Nigerians. Whether the Senate, those who have enough money to pay, they are not paying. The federal government have enough money to pay. Don't come up in the name of tariff. Pay your bills. You understand? You see, I don't know why the government immune themselves from so many things. They won't use the same hospital with us. Their children will not go to the same school with us. Now they're not paying their bills. And nobody, you're untouchable. A time will come. We're all going to be the same. You know, what I love about COVID-19, COVID-19 don't respect anybody.
At all.
It doesn't care whether you are rich or not. You catch you, you die. You know, and that is what's going to happen. There will be a natural wave that will clean that country. God will help us, because now that human being cannot help us, what we normally do to in Nigeria, may God help us. In Jesus' name, that's what we do best. Very good people say in Jesus' name, even when they don't mean it. Anyway, Mary, let's quickly, so that is the Senate. Let's listen to this other guy. They still talking about the same thing. But you know what? I would love to hear from Akpabio here what the Senate president is saying. But let's go back to the issue of the hardship first before we come to this. Let's go back to the hardship, you know.
If some people spent money before bringing it to the parliament for approval or appropriation, where did they get the money they spent? Because they spent money and they came here to look for approval over money they have spent.
Yes.
Now it's not an obligation again. It is classified as obligation, 30 trillion. This debt overhang, Mr. President, is responsible for the problems we're having. This 30 trillion debt overhang, which nobody says he knows the detail, how they spent that money. Outside 809-something billion, which this parliament, this Senate approved. 800-something billion, they approved. So about 20-something trillion, they knew nothing about it. They didn't know how the money was spent, what it was spent on. And we're carrying it on.
In fact, the Senate give us an overview of what is happening in the country. And I hope we'll get some of this report coming from the House of Rep too. It's quite interesting to hear that the senators, individual senators, are agreeing. And this year we're going to introduce them to you people. We'll be introducing you to most of our senators and what they are actually doing in that house. that individually they are not all that stupid. Some of them mean well. And some of them are very, very smart. And I hope we'll get some of this report coming from the House of Rep too. It's quite interesting to hear that the senators, individual senators, are agreeing. And this year we're going to introduce them to you people. We'll be introducing you to most of our senators and what they are actually doing in that house. That individually they are not all that stupid. Some of them mean well. And you will be seeing that as we share some of their videos with you in the coming days, because that's what you're going to see. Part of this morning broadcast will be the newspaper review and actually what the Senate or what the House of Rep or important news that happened in the country. We kept some for tomorrow because we can't finish all today. Time is really not on our side now. We're already how many minutes into the show? We are already 80 minutes into the show. Let's quickly have Princess back from Benin and see whether we can zero on what happened in Edo State. Princess, are you there? Hello, Princess.
Yeah, I'm back.
Amen.
I'm
Amen.
back.
Should we say in Jesus' name to have Edo back? Okay, Princess, tell us what is going on in the Edo State. We are really interested in Edo election, the governorship race. That is what we want to hear from Edo State. What is the
Edo
situation?
making headlines everywhere on the papers.
Yes.
Edo.
Yeah. The interesting thing today is that both primaries are happening today.
All right.
The PDP primaries is today. They are at the stadium about now. They started accreditation with delegates this morning at the Edo Hotel and Mackay. Then they will put them, all of them in a bus to the stadium, which is the venue of the delegate election. And without being in that bus, we cannot access the stadium. I think
Good.
the security is pretty tight.
Good.
Then on the part of the APC, it's direct primary, so they're doing it at the wards. So each of
Okay.
the wards they would have started by 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock, probably before 4 o'clock, we should start seeing results coming in
Results.
from the wards.
Amazing.
As for the
No,
APC primary,
yeah, you see,
but
next
the
time, please, if
PDP
you can just,
um,
yes. It would be nice to have some
the
little footage
PDP
of what,
primaries,
yes. Go on.
the PDP
We are with
primaries,
you.
we expect them to go late. But for the APCs, because it's from the wards, we'll start getting results from 4 o'clock.
Today. All right. It'd be nice to
Yeah.
have some of the footage for tomorrow's show too, because what was interesting yesterday during the last APC, where somebody counting 10, 17, 28. It's no more 1, 2, 3, 4. It was jumping. I don't know. I hope today will not jump because that was what we saw, and it was all over the social media. I pray we don't see that this time. And so it's quite interesting. They shouldn't keep it locked. We want to see what happened. So at least we can share that to the ordinary Edo people, both at home and in the diaspora, because we have a lot of Edo in the diaspora, and they want to see this. Okay. For some reason, Princess network is really not great today. But it's good we have her on the platform, and we're still going to try and see. But from what we're hearing now, Edo primaries, both the APC and the PDP are happening today. And don't forget, Edo had the election earlier, and there was a controversy. They ordered a rerun for peace to reign. Today is a rerun, and from what Princess has just reported, it has started. Hopefully by 4 p.m., we should be getting some kind of result today. And once we get that, we'll bring that to you. Please, Mary, that is to be about how much we can take today. It's just I wanted to hear from the Senate President again on this electricity tariff. Let's just hear from Senate President. Because, for some reason, I don't know whether I'm beginning to like him or actually because he was not in my good book, and he has never been in my good book. But maybe he's trying to work harder now. Let's see whether we hear from him one more time. Senate President, we have a problem with you, between me and you. We will settle him. But first, on the job, if you do well, I would be happy to commend you. So let us hear from him on this tariff.
The country and the sufferings of people, and Nigerians are very worried about the following increases in products across the country, and urge the Committee on Power to work closely with the Minister of Power to ensure that the resolutions of the Senate are respected in order to ameliorate and reduce any contemplated suffering on consumers of electricity in the country.
Well, that is the Senate president. The position of the Senate is that federal government will say no to any removal of tariff or any increase in tariff, and meaning subsidies should stay. Quite interesting. The problem I have with the electricity thing is that I don't know who's gaining here. We've not generated enough electricity. Now it's distribution that is giving issue, because these people, they don't generate electricity. Is our electricity already generated? It's the distribution that's where we're having problem. We just heard that Mr. President, Senate President, you guys don't pay your bills. We want to know if it is true or not. Anyway, I'll be having a chance to ask you those questions when I have to sit down with any of the senators. But for now, let us give the benefit of that. They want us not to suffer. They don't want to hear more suffering on Nigerians. I know Princess will like that. Princess, do you agree with the Senate President?
I think they are just being political.
You know,
They are speaking grammar.
Yeah. You know, he was the first to say that the whole protest on the street, Mr. Senate President, because you are the head there. So we're going to bring you back and forth. Let's listen to him again. Let's listen to the Senate President. But this is on the tariff. But on the protest, this is what he has to say. Let's listen to him again.
Protests here and there, but those people are not aware. Most of those sponsored protests are not aware of the kind of efforts being made by the Senate to tackle the situation, together with the joint management team of the federal government of Nigeria. And I must say that unverified report has it that each of the state governments in the last few months have received additional 30 billion from the Federal Inland Revenue Service outside their normal allocations, from the Federation account, outside their normal allocations, to assist them in ameliorating the food situation. So we believe that every state government should utilize the funds so received towards ensuring that food is available.
See, there are two things here. One, where I disagree with the old man, this man, for saying that the protests are sponsored. Because that is the biggest rubbish a person can say at this stage. What is sponsored? That is, people are on the street hungry. Is it sponsored protest? And in fact, that look at the queue. Returning to Nigeria, is this sponsored too, sir? Do we sponsor people to go on queue? You better put your acts together. But again, the most interesting thing, Princess, is I want to ask you, and I'm going to ask Mary too. You are from two different states in the country. The Senate President just said 30 billion has been released to each of the state governors, in addition to what they normally get, to help with food problem. Do you have any clue of any of these things wherever you are? Let's start with Mary.
I think I've told you before that nothing has happened in Enugu State. Although I'm not based there, but at least I've got people there, I have people there.
What of Abuja? Did you see people? At least you are very close to the secretariat. Do you see people sharing food or something? Palliative.
There's nobody sharing food, and I'm just getting the report now that there's protests going on in Suleja. So
in Suleja?
I'm not seeing anything like that. Yes, I'm just getting the report now.
All right.
There's a particular place in Suleja that youths are protesting. I'm just getting the news now.
For food, is it because of the hardship? What is the protest all about?
Yes, Suleja is under Niger State government, right? Even though it's very close to Abuja. Just in the middle, but even at that, if they have done anything, there won't be protest. You understand? So they have not done anything. If not that we are just seeing it in the news that money is allocated to the governors. We've all blamed.
Yes. So why would they need the federal government?
Everybody focus their energy on the federal government, and now they're trying to clear themselves of this mess.
Yes.
You understand?
No, and they have the right to do so.
If they release on the governors too.
Yes.
Because to some extent, I feel like some governors too are being selfish and just want these things for themselves, because they feel like at the end of the day, people focus on the federal government. Nobody looks at them. And sometimes they are 40. They are the ones that causing most of these problems we are having, because they don't actually care about the people.
Their own people.
Yes. Start from the state. What are they doing? What have they done for people in the state? Let's not even talk about the federal government. What have the governors done? So far, so good to better the people in the states.
Anyway, let's go to Benin. Princess, I know you guys are now
Sir.
occupied with election. You might not be worried about the food so much. But hey, they're
Uh-uh.
blinding us. As Obaseki utilize the 30 billion extra, this is not their normal allocation. So this 30 billion is for food because we have hardship in the country. Is there anything, any sign of that in Edo State?
None. I bought a cup of ogbono for 1,000. When I went back, it was 1,800. The same thing.
The state things are more expensive. This
So
this what I are saying now, is it like the milk cup or the tomato cup you're talking about?
the milk cup
Wow. This is serious.
is 1,800. Maybe if I go back today now, it might be 2,005.
Yes. And
There's no
anyway,
in a more than even here in Abuja now. If that's not how I want to see it. So most times things are expensive in the state itself.
and here our senior president is
That's
saying
what I
that
was
the protest
saying.
is sponsored. Yes. So the senior president is
That's
saying
what I
all
was
the protests. Yes, go on.
It cannot be sponsored because there are different machineries making things hard. They are just putting a grind on it. When you go to the
Yes.
market, there's a union. They sit down and they peg their price somewhere. So when people go to the market, they are frustrated. You go to the filling station, they lock it up. It's sure this is not even queue. You will go with your money. They'll lock it up. The few ones that we sell, they'll refuse to sell for you from POS. They'll bring a POS attendant. They will ask you to collect money, pay the POS attendant, then give them the cash. Right there. They'll just start ripping you up.
I want to ask.
So
Are you people experiencing this same thing that there's this development that started since yesterday? Scarcity of pure water. Pure water companies going on strike. They are not selling water. There is no water.
It's been a long time. It's been long.
Okay, now there's no water in
Our
Abuja.
own has been long ago.
There's no pure water.
It has been long ago.
If you want to buy,
It has been long. I think
you have to save up money to buy bottled water. And you know it's not everybody that can afford bottled water. A lot of people buy pure water more. You understand? Now there's no pure water anywhere. There is no pure water because they are not selling. You get? So this is not funny. Even if we have a problem in this country, please, water should not be among. Water should not be among whatever issues we want to have because water is so important. And now we are in the hot weather. There is heat. People need water because you always feel this dryness. You're always dehydrated. You always thirsty. You want to drink water. Now there's no water. Which one is pure water company going on strike again and not selling water? There's no water. There's no pure water supply in anywhere.
And
Presently in Abuja, there is no pure
Senate
water.
president will tell us that it's sponsored. I'm sure Senate president will tell us that is a sponsored protest too. By the time people come out, and if Senate president thinks that any protest is sponsored, we don't know. That's why perhaps that explains why DSS is warning TLC not to go on strike. You understand? The NLC not to go on strike. Sorry, that's why they're warning NLC not to go on strike because the federal government position is this is sponsored. Mister, can you look at the reality of the ground? We are suffering. Nigerians are suffering. The suffering is so much.
They are not seeing what you are seeing, oh. Suffering where them. When they use electricity, they don't pay. When they don't have issues with diesel, even if the power goes off, they have diesel, free access to diesel. They have everything. They don't even work in the sun like both of us. So you are saying you are suffering, as in from which they've lost touch of that reality.
Yes, true.
They're in their eye horses. They've lost touch.
And it would be nice sometime, Mary and Princess, to bring some of these market women here to talk to Nigerians, to tell us what they are going through. It would be so good, if you guys can pick some of these footage of market women, because from time to time, we're going to focus this show, maybe one time focus on education, look at the state of education in the country. And I will expect you guys to just take some footage of schools around you and we'll look at the state of education, maybe primary, secondary. So that is the only way we can actually throw some light on some of this area. But right now we're talking about food challenges. It would be nice tomorrow if we can have some little footage of what the market women are saying, just to mix with what the Senate president, because we'll have a lot of footage from the Senate tomorrow as well, so that we can hear from the people and hear from the leaders and see whether they are even in reality. Because like Princess said, These guys are not in reality. They don't even know what we're going through. They're not on the street. They don't walk on the street. They don't even know whether there's sun. You know, like if they don't pay for electricity, diesel is always supplied to them. You see, out of our sweat. So the leaders are immune. What a disaster. May God help us. Anyway, Princess, we're going to end the show by saying, I love Edo now because Edo is our easy. They are like our baby, all right? We know election is coming up. How is today? What is the political? I mean, how is the climate? Is it the political climate, or how will I describe it? How is Edo? Is it charged? Are people excited? Are they happy to go and vote? Are they worried that their vote will be stolen again? Especially within the APC, we've seen one. Is the PDP taking a cue? Are they learning? We know that PDP have gotten all the state, local governments, so they are more confident going into the election, so to say. But how is the situation? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yesterday, there were reports, first day, that one of the candidates, one of the aspirants, has written to the High Court in Abuja a petition against the PDP that she was omitted from the aspirants that were invited to participate in
the election
primary.
Already.
So they are in court now. They also, Yes, they also have a case now. The petition has been submitted already, and a copy of it is even flying around, as she was omitted. So she will not be participating in today's primary. And she's complaining that the letter that omitted her was signed by the National Publicity Secretary that was removed in January, on the 9th of January. And the person signed the letter, I think, on the 1st of February. So that letter, she's claiming the letter that omitted her from these primaries is illegal.
Of course. It's invalid, because if that man is no more in office, if that is the case,
Yeah, but she wasn't invited. She wasn't invited for today's primary. So let's see how much drama will come out from it.
That's from the PDP angle. Even what I love about the Nigerian politics is this guy, but you know, the beauty of all this is they're waking us up. You understand? They're making us aware. Every Nigerians are now aware of what is going on in the political scenario, and I think that's a beautiful thing. We are all going to participate.
Even if every Nigerians are aware of what's going on in the political scenario, time for election again, the same thing will continue to happen. We as Nigerians, we are never learning. Let's be sincere. We are never learning. Most times they just focus on that particular palliative they get during the election, and they forget the 4 years of suffering, the 8 years of suffering. So it's for we the citizens to also learn and relearn of understanding that we need betterment in the country. We need to do better, even as a people. Just as presently the situation of the country, we are focusing on the federal government, forgetting that the state governors too need to play a role on this, you understand, on this present situation in the country. So I feel like to some extent we should still focus on we the citizens. You understand? Of trying to
the last three elections, the last three elections I've witnessed in Edo, I think they are learning. The second term election of Obaseki Shaibu, there were lots of handouts, and people voted their conscience. It didn't. That inducement did not work. Now, in the presidential election, you could see that LP won Edo. There were lots of inducement, up to 10,000, up to rapper, rice, and all those things. It didn't work. So, I don't know if other places, but here, people are waking up. People are waking up.
I agree. I do not agree. I do not be Igbo. I do not be Lagos. So they've proven it. To be honest, you know the truth. Yes, the truth is that I don't have always done that. You know the days of Oshomole. Even what brought Oshomole to power was people voted and defended their votes. That was how Oshomole managed to become a government.
Yes, court every time for 2 years.
Exactly. So that is Edo, and we will expect more of that on this occasion. And good thing is happening at the time when the country is going through hardship that they can feel. Now, for those of you wanting to, I don't know whether I'm even going to support PDP or any party. I don't support any party anyway. For those of you who want to bend on PDP, the same PDP governor, I want to know whether Obaseki did share food, because we just heard from the Senate that 30 billion has been released to others, up to all the states. Maybe Obaseki didn't get their own. If Obaseki did, then we want to know if Obaseki did get part of this money. So if he didn't, we understand that. But if you get your own, then we want to see what you do with it. It's fair. It's fair enough, please. When we have Mary back, we're going to go on a last commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to call the show a wrap. We've been having a wonderful day. It's what is usual. The show is every typical Nigerian politics, Nigerian show. That's what we discuss. Unfortunately, our news headlines do not really focus on what we can do to come out of our difficulties. The top headlines have always been what social person is doing wrong, what this person is doing, what political party said is what the other one is saying. But we have a problem as a people. We need leadership. And the leadership is not going to come from this criticism. It's not come from this attack. It's going to come from we coming together to plot a strategy that will save the country. Right now, Nigeria have all the potential, and they still have it to grow. In fact, we have the human resources to grow. We have the natural resources to grow. In fact, we have the financial capital to start it. You see, today, Princess, they were telling us that the federal government is going to share money to 15 million households. And I said to myself, why are you sharing money to 15 million households? Why don't you invest that money so that people can have jobs? Because if you share the money today, we will eat, tomorrow we'll be hungry. But if you invest the money, maybe if you give that money to local government to farm, there will be employment, and that job will be there for like years. In fact, people's life will be made from there. Children's school fees will be paid. But if you give the money now, it will not serve more than 3 days. The family will have squandered it. The question is, where is the wisdom? If not, all we try to do in Nigeria is politics. Sometimes we should move from politics into governance. Tinubu is still in politics. He has become president, yet the government is still playing politics. Sir, you are now a president. Every policy now should be how the country can move forward, not what you will do so that they will praise you. We are in trouble. If you share money today, it's not like what he did at the beginning. You said you said there will be no more subsidy on petrol. We agree. We're ready to suffer. But again, the next minute they were sharing money to some people and they said they are sharing palliatives. Where is it now? If that money was invested on our refineries, I'm sure today we'll not be going through the same thing. So it's exactly what we're going through now. And maybe it's time for people in Edo State to say no. Finally, they do what they do best. Please help us say no to Edo State, to the politicians in Edo State. Let your vote count again. We don't know who you want to vote for, but whoever you think is the right person, vote for that person. And stand and say, yes, I did it. Not because of the small money given to you. As you vote, think of the future of your children. And the only reason we do this show is for you to know how to make some decision. We just inform you, and maybe with the information you make your right decision. We're not going to decide for you, but the question is, now think of somebody who's saying, I'm going to give you money to go and eat now, or somebody that will put the money into something that will be beneficial to your children, to yourself and your children. This is a decision we have to make today. So maybe the question is, any governor that is coming, you should see whether they even have the capability to create wealth. You know, all the governors we have so far, Princess, have been people that will spend money. The only time we praise a governor is how much he spent. They never create wealth. You see, I can tell Obaseki, if I ask Obaseki today, you've been there for 8 years, how much have you made Edo State to realize? I mean, that income that are now coming to Edo State. Because during my time in office, I created so oil farm, I did this, and so money is now coming to Edo State. You will not hear that from any governor in Nigeria. All they do is every month they collect money and they go. Princess, please tell us what you think Edo State and electorate should be looking out for.
Well, in all fairness, let me not be biased. In all fairness, this government, Obaseki government, even though it's highly criticized, has done some things that has impacted the lives of people. It's just that I think the government is is poor when it comes to media. It's now that the government is trying to make some noise, but it's already at its tail. You know, they
Yes.
did a lot of innovations. They built lots of things. Like they have the Edo Innovates. I'm trying to advertise them
No.
anyway. They
Yeah.
did they did there's the creative hub. There's the Edo jobs are doing so much. Then there are some things that are coming up. There are some innovations that he has brought. So, but the point I'm saying is he has done his own,
Yes.
and we are on the verge of a new one.
Yes.
So the electorate here right now should look at the person coming in for who he is and what he can afford to give to us,
Yes.
not on the strength of who is leaving. He has done his own. This is his bus stop.
Yes.
So the electorate, just like you said, should look critically and objectively at all the candidates, regardless of party or who is sponsoring them,
Yes.
and vote their conscience.
That's it.
So that's the point.
You said it all. You said it all. And but I don't are known for that. Perhaps we just want to add a voice to that. That please vote your conscience. You understand? Vote your conscience. Don't look at the credibility of or what Baseki has done right or done wrong. To pick on the next person, listen to them carefully. I think this is time to listen to the candidates. It's an opportunity to listen here. This I want them to talk about, and this has been the point of my challenge to date. The thing that worries me mostly when it comes to politics in Nigeria has been one thing and one thing only. Every governor, I listen to you now, Princess. All you mentioned is the things he has built. You understand? And if I tell you all this infrastructure, you know, but it's time for a state like Edo that can be so productive to move from infrastructure to productivity. You know, that's my concern. And I wanted to know which of the governor that is really talking productivity. I'm talking to Edo people now. Do not listen to somebody who say, I will build more stadium. I'll bring money for you to feed, because it's not going to last. That will give good school to your children. It's not going to last. The question I ask is, who is trying to create jobs, genuinely, empower, create wealth? And this is what I stand for. Let me put Edo State, I know. Somebody came to Edo State, pick palm fruit, went to Malaysia. Malaysia is today the highest producers of oil, red oil across the world. Taken from Edo State. But the same thing, 9-4 is dead. I don't think there is a governor that have all this intelligent man that could not grow that sector. That is one. I don't want to count them. Edo have rich soil that can go with agric. I never see Edo State government going into that. A time will come, it will not be about how much you spend in rebuilding centers, this and that. But it's about how you cultivate the soil. The Bible said we should go and cultivate our soil. Take the land. That's what the God told us. Which of the governors, I'm not saying Edo alone, but this time is important for Edo, as actually speaking that language. He's going to tell you that when I become a governor, this is what we're going to do in Edo State, so we're going to make money. That we don't even need to wait for federal government to survive. Supposing there's no money coming from federal government, are we going to die? That's not true. Have more potential to survive. Yes.
I think in Edo, maybe it's not enough, but there has been intervention in the agri sector. You know,
Okay.
Like I said, if the governor comes out and rolls out his rap sheet, you will see that there are some impacts he has made in the agri sector. I know firsthand, and it is not like before where they release fertilizers and it does not get to the grassroots and all that. There has been some intervention, and there's an arm of the government called EDOFAC. They deal with agric and all that. They do
Yes.
some lot of good things, but it probably might not be enough.
Yes.
But the government has, in a way, touched everywhere. But what I'm saying is, this government is already at its end, and it
Yes.
can come up with lots of things, and even at some point, I will be able to verify them.
Yes.
But the thing I'm saying is, all these things right now is not what we should distract ourselves with. He has done his own. This is the end of the road. We
For
should
them.
choose and not be, yes, we should not be distracted with what he has done. We should look at what the person they are projecting is going to give us and judge him on his own individual strength to vote. That's my own point.
Thank
But
you.
the government is highly criticized,
Yes.
but he has done a lot. But kudos to him. That is his own.
You see, and perhaps, Princess, God will bless you. Most of the things we even see now, I'm sure the presidency is doing a lot. But you know, they should learn from other governments that if you go to the State House in America, they do press briefing every day. You know, the president comes and talks to the people every day on what is going on. You know, the president must, or the press secretary must. We don't have that in our governance. You see, presidency, they just release one press release once in a month. You know, but this is a place where it's supposed to be daily. You understand? So you need to carry the people along, because one of the things, the people, it's not you. You're ruling people, so the people need to know what you're doing, so they begin to support you. That's why fake news is reigning. If the federal government is actually communicating, then there will be no room for fake news. If the state governors can communicate, there will be no room for fake news. You know, everything we say that will be immaterial, because people will now want to listen to what the Edo State government said this morning. We want to hear what the Edo State government is doing today. It is so important to the people. So maybe it is one of the things we are begging them to communicate. Whether you do it in your backyard, we don't care. But if you tell us what you're doing, we actually support you. You'll be surprised that Nigerians will actually put money in their pocket and support the government. You see, sometimes we underrate our people. I said, if Nigerians will go to church on Sunday, a boy will sit at the altar, tell all the things he want to say, and we'll put money in our pockets and contribute. When we know he's the one going to spend the money, they say we'll give it to God. But we know you're giving it to that man there. God is not coming to take that money. I know you guys don't agree with me. You go to church. Let me leave that. But I'm saying that if Nigerians could do that, if you tell us how you're ruling us and you need money, we will put money in our pocket and we'll support you. We saw that with Peter Obi. Peter Obi said, I have no money to give to you. Yet people put money in their pocket, put hand in their pocket, and they supported that campaign. I can tell you, many of us in the diaspora did. If APC come to me, I'll say, where's your money? If PDP come to me, I'll say, where's your money? But if Labour comes to me, I'll say, how much do you need? Because you are running a different campaign. You understand? So if the government communicates, we will communicate back by supporting the government. That is where we end the show tonight. Today. It's a wonderful day. You guys are strong. Please let us do this again and again. I don't want to have you on time tomorrow. We know you are a busy woman. Let's have you on time tomorrow. Let me charge. And I want to charge both of you to actually give me a small clip. Do that today ahead of tomorrow to share what the ordinary Nigerians, market women, or anybody have to say about this hardship, so that we will not compare that with what the Senate president or what the presidency is saying. It would be nice to have that balance in it, because we hear from the Senate president, we hear from what they say, we didn't hear from the ordinary Nigerians. We want to have that in the show tomorrow. Will that be okay? I trust women. I'm sure I'm going to get that. Thank you very much. Let us say we end the show here tonight. You go and do your thing. Princess, I know you're busy. Please go and join them in I know if you are not in the APC, you are going to be in the APC and the PDP election. So I'm going to give you time to quickly run down and do your thing. And Mary will continue with the business of SRTV in Abuja. Let's say that's where we close the show today. Until tomorrow, when we'll be here again, same time and same way. What we do here is we bring you the news. We only present it. You decide. Like we say in Edo, we only present it. Like Princess said it. We're not here to tell you who to vote for. Don't judge with this, don't judge with that. Listen to them, watch them, look at what they think they can do. If you are happy, vote for that person. Do not take money to do this, because if you take the money will come and haunt you tomorrow. So please, just vote for who you think is right, so the right person will rule us, and the country will be better, and Edo State will be better as well. That's why we say the show. So let me say goodbye, and thank you very much for joining us. Say hello to the viewers now. I want these two ladies to say hello to our viewers. Because they are calling me and saying, please, where are these women from? Are they all married? I said, I don't know. They are SRTV. These are SRTV spices, you know. We use it to catch you, you know, and they are beautiful. Thank you so much, ladies. All right, tomorrow, Goodbye.
Yes.